Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. The power of the mouthpiece. The power of the mouthpiece. Now, that's a very important piece. You know what? People get on here and, we always got the argument on, how to deal with women, what gets women. And, I promote the body game, of course. And, some people say, well, it's your face, which they mean, they'll say looks, which means face and money and status. But those things are just bait. The mouthpiece is the connective piece. That's the connection right there. That opens it up because you can look great. You can look great. Shoot, and you might have $1 million in your bank account, and you might have a high status. How's a woman gonna know all of that though if you don't talk to her? And then even then, you could have all those things and a woman go out with you. You go on a date, but the conversation is blah. Now, unless that woman is a acculturated prostitute or acceptable hoe, she's not, she might be like, whatever. Because usually if she's in a position to meet you, okay, say you got money and you got some status and she happens to run into you. Usually the reason I even met was because she's in that circle anyway, so that means there's some other people there. And see, that's a key piece. You got to remember, if she's looking at your money and status and all of that, that means she's probably in a circle where all the men there have the same thing. So how you going to differentiate yourself? Or even a looks piece. Typically, she going to be in a circle where she got all those things. Now, somebody might say, well, what if I meet that woman on the street? Well, here's the thing. If you got money and status, one, how come you're not driving? Two, even if you meet somebody on the street, think about something. How often does a CEO, a celebrity, or somebody who really got money is going to be stopping to talk to somebody on the street? If you got money, that means you working. You probably doing something. You ain't going to be trying to talk to a woman on the street or anything. And even if you got looks, most women just going to look. So think about that. Now, the mouthpiece. The mouthpiece is important because it gets past many of the defenses. Because even if you got a great bait, you got looks, you got money, you got status, you got a killer body, shoot, you got a $1 million home, she's still gonna have some defenses up. She's still gonna have her apprehension. She's still gonna question. Like, you could have everything going on for you, but then the woman might be like, well, why are he talking to me? Why are he approaching me? Or maybe she dealt with somebody who had similar things before and got in there. You got to have some way to get past her defenses. That's the key to the mouthpiece. That's the talk thing. Also, too, if you look at what the mouthpiece really is just charm. What people call it, they'll say it's some words, but it's the charm. It's able to talk with a woman. Women, the soft spot for a woman is really her emotions. And you can affect her emotions by how you speak. That's why you get some guys out here. They might not have money or status, and they average looking, but they can sweet talk a woman. That's in fact, that's an old school game. That's the first game you learn growing up in the hood. People don't be saying, oh yeah, you gotta get that money and all that status and everything. And shoot, everybody ain't looking like a fashion model, but they'll say, hey, go talk to that girl. That's the first one you learn. That's the socialization. Can you talk to that woman? That's why if you look at it, that's why I may be a good poet, singer, MC. Shoot, they'll have women like crazy. They will have women like crazy because all they doing is talking to them. Like, yeah, I've known some dudes, they could get a woman wet. They could look average, but if all they need to do is have enough that the woman will have a conversation with them. Or even, there was a quote I saw on Instagram. I'm not quoting it exactly. Somebody who's listening might have seen it, but, it's like someone, and probably a woman wrote it, said, yeah, beware of men who will make you laugh, because a man will make you laugh and then poof, all of a sudden you're naked. Shoot. Like, laughing is actually something that can arouse a woman sexually. Because what is arousal? Arousal is taking something from an inactive state to an active state. You're arousing it. So usually that woman she's not aroused, but you get her laugh, and all of a sudden, boom, you open her up. That's why a lot of guys become comedians. You talk to a lot of these comedians, what'd you do it for? Get some pussy. But that mouthpiece is powerful. That a lot of times when you see some guy, you get a lot of guys and they'll say it like, why she with that guy? He don't look like this and that. And the first thing I'll say is, I'm like, well, ask how she, how she get along with him. Ask about his personality. See, you got some guy, and personality is very important because that's a part of your mouthpiece, how you come up. Because that's why you can have two men say the same thing to a woman, and one she wants to call the police on, and the other one she's ready to go to sleep with. Like you get some guy and he come up, hey baby, and she probably be like, oh shit, she ready to go to the Momo right there. But then you get somebody else say the exact same thing, hey baby, or like, hey baby, or something just kind of creepy. Right? They'll say it in a creepy way, and then she's like, because a part of the mouthpiece is not just the words, but it's going to be, as you're talking, she's looking at your body language. She's feeling your energy. What kind of vibe this person got? In fact, if you listen to many women, they'll tell you that. They'll say, boom, that's because communication is only a small percentage of communication is verbal. That's why if you are talking with somebody and they saying one thing, but their body language is very closed and defensive, you realize, okay, this person's probably lying. In fact, you got experts on body language when they like law enforcement. They might be looking at somebody and interrogating them, but they looking at the body language the whole time. They say, okay, you saying this, but your body language is saying something else. So that's all into it. Like the mouthpiece isn't words. Like I get a lot of guys who come up to me and just say, well, what word can I say? I was like, well, you can't just say anything. It depends on what you learn, what the context is, what you're doing, everything else. And in fact, I need to develop that because I think I might start developing some more communication stuff. Because what I'm seeing with many men is it's the social thing that's hurting them. I can tell even with some comments, and people will say, well, it's this or that. Well, that's because when you're speaking to a woman, it's probably coming off as negative, like Eeyore. You don't have any, it's not exciting in how you talk, or you might be speaking in a monotone. See, that's part of the mouthpiece too. But the main thing with the mouthpiece, it opens the door. Now for the metaphysics students or ATR students, devotees, that's a legba or sebek, or shoot, if Northern European Loki. It's that speaking. It's not a trickster thing though, but it's speaking. It's speaking in a certain way. Poets understand. Like you see, a really good poet will always keep a woman. A really good poet. Somebody got that word juju, as one of my mentors would say. Because you'll speak that thing, and that woman might not pay attention to you at first, but then you start talking, and she's like, "Damn, that's the cheat code. That's the cheat code, right there." And you got to have it anyway, even if you got all the bait. Even if you add the bait, you still got to talk to them. And I said that in my Pool Style series on Rom TV. And I started that with being a smooth talker because I said, I don't care what system you use, you got to be able to communicate. Even just on a basic level. And an advanced level, that's something that you can only practice. You can't read a book and deal with that. You just got to get out and talk. So anyway, power of the mouthpiece. That's all I got for now, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.